The Commission must ensure that this election is concluded transparently and fairly so that the true choice of the people prevails. We will not allow intimidation to dictate election results in the Ashanti region. 3. Total rejection of Zuba for any purported appointment in the Ashanti region. A man who orchestrates violence and disregards the rule of law has no place in the leadership, not in Ashanti region. His appointment to any position in the Ashanti region will be a grave disservice to the people. We urge the President and all responsible authorities to reconsider and reject any attempt to offer Zuba any role in the region. Kumasi and the entire Ashanti region deserves better. We call on law enforcement agencies to tighten security around electoral processes in Ashanti region. The era of using violence and fear to undermine democracy must end. The Ashanti region has always been the stronghold of democracy and good governance in Ghana. We will not allow the reckless and lawless behavior of a few individuals to tarnish our democratic credentials. We send a clear message and a strong message as well to the Mahama administration. Ashanti region will not bow to intimidation. The people of Ghana will resist attempts to erode democracy through violence and lawlessness. We urge all well-meaning Ghanaians, civil society organizations, traditional leaders, religious bodies, and the media to speak up against this assault on democracy and demand accountability from the authorities. We refuse to be silent. We refuse to be intimidated. Democracy must prevail.
It is not just about NDC or MPP. It's not about an individual, but it's about all of us. In a country such as Ghana, that we have this reputation because of peace, tranquility, and coexistence, that all over the world, on the globe, they respect us. If this is where they want to take us to, I think all of us have to join this crusade and advocacy against these dysfunctional behaviors. That somebody has to win an election. If not, there should be mayhem. We have mature men, we can transport them to Ashanti region. We are a peace-loving people. It's not that we are being controlled by cowardice, but we think countries such as Ghana must be a country that other African countries can emulate our peaceful nature. But of course, there's a natural inertia that everybody should understand, that self-defense is part of creation. We are not going to fight the NDC. We are calling them to put an end to this primitive, outmoded behaviors where they think macho men are solutions to our problems.
And some no so Eddie Amau na a deputy minority leader ewa mrashebedwem Patricia Apije what are two a year abai enim se ehube hia se ayakayaka dia yede eye aswafo binuma womu efri eye abai mu no ehube hia se womu ebegyan ene ononkom eye mpenifo agodo a womu so asom ewo man Ghana mu no ekoba de sa abai foforo ba eye na yeye o mayakayaka die no sanima we nyina ehube hia se to ebetwa na wotwom sa wohwe na sentemi amane bonsema abeto dwato apeti ani nenanom every eye office of the special prosecutor anafi National Investigations Bureau womo anamuntu omutu ya womo ekọ former finance minister Kenneth Ofori Atanifie e won kran wa abra na ono ankasa woni wono mo abokọ akọji ayarehwe e wa brochimemu wokoye ekoye niam basabasa e wo hono entweye ene wono nko wo mo nso a eye defense minister kani defense minister eye Dominic eye Nitibu na ono nso e kan ho a wochum se sa yakayaka je ya ekọ so na hu behia sa aban ohwe ho nsem na oka.
We wish to bring to the attention of the general public the rise of an alarming trend where political witch hunt in the form of orchestrated harassment of former government officials, threats, targeted attacks, and state-sponsored aggression and intimidation are being used as tools to settle political scores. Ghana's political climate is undergoing a perilous shift, and we will not tolerate the erosion of our democracy.
Twa and some no so yada so ejina former finance minister ne semwa se eye woko ni fie wa bra no woni hono mo ma wo mo ekobutubutu nyama dane dane ni a wo kyerem se enyama we nyina no entwe yie enam so ma wo emrahye bedwum wa bra asetena ekoso no wo eye majority ene minority afani mu no na kyese enkomodie ekoso pa ni nyina no eye menteme ho ase na ni nyina no efa nyama wo kyerem se ekoso e wo former finance minister ni fia ocho musena asrafo binum kra kan ho a omo hyehye eya asrafo atade a ni na eya ade a eni ho kwan se wosan ema no esibiem na wasetene no mu no wabra wobobo nsam no ana woni monyamfo James Agalga wono eya mrahye bedwani a wono ewa Bulsi North wodi ensem sei etudwa.
Peter has spoken. He says he extended an invitation to Kenoforiata, and his lawyers offered to present themselves for questioning. And he said, no, lawyers are not the subject of the investigation. So he wants to talk to Ken Oforiatta himself. Could this be the reason why agents of our state security apparatus stormed his home? Mr. Speaker, let me remark that when Honorable John Dinapo's home was stormed, there was no prior invitation extended to him by any state security agency mandated to investigate any matter. Likewise, the home of Dominic Ayene, the current Attorney General, was stormed, equally stormed. What was his crime? His crime was that he only wrote a legal opinion. A legal opinion. These are the facts we should compare and contrast.
Mr. Speaker, indeed, the OSP wrote to him on the 24th of January. In fact, this is the first letter that he received from the OSP. Mr. Speaker, in the said letter, Mr. Ken Oforiatta instructed his lawyers to respond to let the OSP know that indeed he was out of the jurisdiction seeking medical treatment. Mr. Speaker, what happened yesterday by state security operatives must be condemned by all of us. Honorable John Dinapo has narrated his own ordeal, but the records of this House will confirm that when that happened, Right Honorable Speaker DAAKYE condemned that act. If indeed something had happened yesterday, it does not mean that we should continue today. Mr. Speaker, I've heard human rights activists, respected lawyers for that matter, quote Article 18 of the Constitution to say that that is not applicable in this case. Mr. Speaker, I beg to submit that that was a wrong appreciation of the law. Military men led by Mr. Richard Japa unlawfully entered the premises of Mr. Ken Oforiatta, searched his rooms.
If you claim that somebody has improperly searched your house or your property, you go to court. You go to court for the courts to declare that your property rights have been violated, that your dignity has been violated, and the courts are there to provide you that service of taking a decision as to whether or not indeed your rights have been violated. In court, the two sides will be there, and they will all be heard. But if you choose to use a political platform like this one, Parliament, to raise matters that, properly speaking, are the business of courts, you will receive political responses. And that is what I see happening here. Mr. Speaker, as for me, what I hear being said here is that there is a certain class called the political class, and that political class must take care of each other. And what I hear being said in this chamber is that taking care of each other means that we should not hold each other accountable. Mr. Speaker, I have always contended that it will be the most dangerous thing that will happen to the democracy of this country if a certain group called the political class are allowed to conspire to protect each other. And several times a call on members of the political class not to do this to each other. The reason why the voters go and vote for one political party as against the other is so that they will come and hold each other accountable. The day that we stop holding each other accountable, that will be the day the electorate will lose confidence in this democracy. And when they lose confidence in this democracy, that is the end of democracy in Ghana.
Yet was only a consent from na woko aban nyuma wodo bebremu a aya na edru brebi na eho akwakwa hia se boye enhwehwemu se de baye betumi akra sika ne na no enam eye de wo friend poto kasem se ghost names na we na ebi akwakwa kosi ewo national service scheme eka bia na wo mo edi wo mo na akoba ne se bebre na no ana na wondi ewo sa aka nim na nso enya ade asa nkofo no kro ho obi wo kra on cat for nanso ni din ewoma sika nso akwa ni ninamu no enam so ma omampini ahye eye national investigation bureau say ho behia se wo meye san nhwehwemu no se de be ya ebetumi aboa
Oswafo a wohwe omai sikasem nsem so na ehye ese wo National Service Authority won mo adwumadie mu no wo mo nkan enipa no mako na nhwe nipa dodo ya won mo National Service ewo August bosumi ni mu 2024 eno enanam so ma sa ensem yi ebeto edwa eno na ITV kase yetisi monten so na ye ne kaso adehye atwetwen komo na won mo nso ekire wo mo adwen efa ensem yi eho
Goes name there. I shall say we're gonna hear. Yempin Funa Sago's names, no more member system. This is the president, you have no so very research. Members of whatever 1 year. This answer Yempin from Windin of Crep. I didn't know Ghana as your prayer brain. Now, Obisha, you must no ghost names by 50. The debut office, I didn't own. And one person 1 year. Oh, yes, well, penny be or involved on one channel.
It's said, will be every school, will be university, will be polytechnic. I know how your friends say, when you're national service. Now, will be the OTF, one school, you deal with payroll, so no multi until no, imagine sharing say, once you show no more, open this episode of payroll. Now, one, I was said, when National Service no mutual coming. Until you should the one your power. No, you go to the union. One, I was said, would you also?
Yet one some so ede ama na afibia mu no na Ghana ye shefa se de be ya yebe tumi edi eye yemfa hodie da na edru sabra na obenembo sumida etoso eye nsia bia e wa afimu no na ya na ye hye safa no na enam so ma wo hwa NPP aban na penso no na nka eye Independence Day no se yemfa ne se Asante Mantem se yahye safa no ewo ho no ma afefufuro mu na yasan adane yensa akomantem fufuro mu na eye omampani chirumu se die sa hyehyede no wetwem ene ade a ebekoso ne ne na ene se ebetumi aboaye ama yetumi akrasika ewo my Ghana mu
Amanebo efri abankesie mu ebeto edwa enrada ekire se de nanka bandada ne breso no edru afofida ebra ye shefa na ye de kai omeyi ye fa ahudie eye 6 March na nanka afibia no ye de kɔ amantam ahodo no neno ena omempani mahama breiso wo kire se sanhyehyɛ ni nyina eyade a watwamu esanse wo hu ne se emfa die bia emre omeyi na emom no ede eka na ebre omeyi Oswafo a woto enkra efri abankesiem eyo nunyamfo Felix kwachi ofosu ono no de nsem yi eto nsentrofo anim enrada ewo nkran na wosa nsem yi hu no na ITV kase ye tisi monten so na ye ne adehye ya ewo kaso etwetwe nkomo ebisa won adwenkyere efasa nsem yi hu seyi na won mu bi ekaaye.
It's good because so the bar it will save more money. The transfer of gadgets and other things, it will reduce the cost. So celebrating in Accra is okay. There will be no any high cost for the government again. That is what I have to say as I do. Yeah, the only thing which will reduce the cost. So apart from that, I don't see anything wrong with that.
So maybe this year, the sick seminar and go into Tina or Yenesa, Seneca. This year, the sick seminar, Shemuna, sick seminar. I am fine. I am piano, so very extended. And yes, you can send your sick sem as say, Pasabis and
some. Eno enya ade bia ebe omo enfense omenu so enya ani gye no kwensanse wan hwe ye ni gye no sunsanso ede wo haw ebebre wa pomudi ensem
Won krata ganet ede aba no wonum kyerɛ sɛ edu saa Valentine Day a adofo titiru ene emabunu no wonum pɛ wonum kyerɛ wonum adofo sɛ wonum edo won ho sɛ enkoba sɛ ne dofo na dwebe ntanta sɛ empo sa wondo no enu nti edu saa bre na enyoma hodo no a ena ya ekoso a wonum kyerɛkyerɛ do ema won ho a empemu agudie enso so eka ho ebie na eno ena wo kyerɛ sɛ beboa na entiase ebeba afenunu entem na enkoba sɛ wonum bedi do bewie na achinsunsanso no akoye yade anu ti no ena wonum de sankratai ede aba wo kyerɛ sɛ eba nkuntabu a HIV die ewo fom a wo de ko hanchemu a eye wo hanchemu baako akiripo num ne miensa ye 1.53% a HIV no ewo fom kakra nanso no Ganet kyerɛ sɛ ade sa no yade no kwa ana ekosro empo no na nsentamo sedia epagya ne mu no ehuye pa ne senti en wono afa sa akonya no so ere san kyerɛkyerɛ ne afutoi ere kwa ma mabunu wonom kyerɛ sɛ Valentine Day sɛ bukakodi empemu agora ehu behia ye pa sɛ wobɛbɔ wo ho ban afenso no sɛ multiple sexual partners woni nipa bebru baako ebedi empemu agoro no enu so no aya na emu ohu ye pa afenso no sɛ mobɛka sɛ eye Valentine ti no mo kɔ eye sex parties ahodo wo si emu ohu enu nti emabunu no anhwɛ ye hookups enso no ebetumi asi afenso no substance abuse sa obefa enubone mano abroso ni na no eka ho bi a waya no wanhwe yi a wobetimi anya HIV ebie na etoso mienu ensoso no wo se ukodi mpemu agora hwe se wobedi no kwan pa so wobebo ho ban enu nti no se ubeyusu condom eyade a ehia yie pa enu no tumi ebo ho ban fi HIV eho enu nti pharmacies ahodo health centers ene emiamia ahodo a wobenya condom ni bie no bomodena se wobekwa akoto bi ewo ho ede abo ho ban se empo ni nyina mu no ehu behia ye pa se wobetwe ho ede se wotwe ho afiri eho no eboa wo ye pa ma HIV wo ho ban kese pa ede fa ho a enya de a wobenya bi ewo kwan bia so titiru ene sabre a ye wo mu na Ganet ne krakra mu no wode adesrade ekọ ede ama obi bia se ehu behia ye pa se unnimu HIV status ya wobekọ akohwehwe umogya mu na wahwe sa so emoa no ebi wo wedie ni mu anaasɛ ɛte sɛn ɛno nti ɛne wɔn ahwɛ ɛde self-testing kit ɛde aba a wokɔ pharmacies ahodoɔ ɛne mmiamia bebree a wɔn tontɔn nnuro ne adeɛ a wɔn nsa betumi aka bi wɔn ankasa betumi akɔ check w'adeɛ ɛwɔ fie anaasɛ pharmacy hɔ no koraa no betumi ma ya check ama wo na wɔahu sɛ aso HIV wɔ bi anaasɛ ɛte sɛn na wɔn ankasa akɔ check ahwɛ sɛ ɛmoa no wɔ bi anaasɛ ɛte sɛn a ɛno nko a ɛna wonim sɛ deɛ ɛte a wɔ bi foforɔ biara ehu.
Usua yentwa ye ho embra ye ba ye bebo ewra eye adwadie mu ensem enko ye dan ye ho abasisia. Mensan ema wakwa abofa edusu ne yekodwedie ensem emu na World Bank kedi nsama tudwa ni nena ene sesesi no hwe Ghana yemfoto ene yensikasem a akoba ne sede bia no ensem foforo ena eba na sa amadebon nsem yi de body ebetu dwa Ghana Public Finance Review Reporter eba ye a wo mo elanchi ye ewon kran World Bank country director wo oman Ghana emu ana afensu Liberia afi Sierra Leone Robert Talaisio what ya tudwa achim sesese wo hwa sede oman Ghana ye niema CBA dane yensikasem ene niema bebre a ewo oman Ghana mu ekatwetwedie ene adenuma de bia ensema eba no na akoye ensem foforo.
We'd like to share those with you. We're at a critical juncture for Ghana. While the country witnessed substantial progress in the early 2000s, for example, growth averaged 6.8% between 2009 and 2000, sub-Saharan African progress and achieving the Millennium Development Goal. And I think it is important that we recognize that enormous success that Ghana has had in reducing poverty. It is important to ensure that any adjustment is fair and efficient to protect the most vulnerable, so it should favor pro-growth and pro-poor fiscal measures. This report argues for improving the allocative and technical spending efficiency for better outcomes by examining the education, health, social protection, and agricultural sectors. Lastly, two additional aspects that merit attention relate to ensuring that fiscal policy supports the country's economic transformation and resilience agenda.
Wojumedie no aseno kwanhwerefo ma external resources mobilization public relation officer Louis Kwame ekopie mu ewase what is
been characterized by remarkable achievements and formidable challenges. Over the past decades, our economy has demonstrated robust growth driven by sectors such as oil production, services, and agriculture. The growth has contributed significantly to poverty reduction, with the poverty rate halving between 1991 and 2016.
Enrichino Kwame Echampong, where a professor ewo international education and development ewo Open University enunu ewo UK.
Good enforcement regimes, then we can maximize the benefits from these recommendations. So I think they are spot on. I on the human our human resource, I think we do need to pay attention to that. The recommendation on education, for example, and health, poor and the disadvantaged are benefiting and maximizing the benefits. It's so important for our growth and our development. The policies that have been recommended are policies that are on pro-growth and pro-poor. So I think we have to look at each of these recommendations in terms of how they ensure that as we grow, as we implement our fiscal policies.
Ne krakramunu Tomaya Christie, where a senior economist, one also needs some for Edincomo.
Yeah, in this way, the taxes that you are paying are going towards providing these services. So implicit in that is the fact that the government also has a responsibility to the public to efficiently provide these services and to spend the money in the best way possible. That is a significant issue in Ghana, and one that we do not look at in detail in the report, but one that is a recurrent issue from my understanding. Property taxes in other countries have been put up as a significant source of financing, especially at the local government revenue, and it is definitely something.
Na hoɔden no egyina ne nan so pan yei na wohwɛ ɛyɛ cedi no wɔ dollar no so kyerɛ mu sɛ ɛyɛ cedi bia ɛyɛ $1 no ɛyɛ 15 cedis 90 pesos na no ana wɔde abeto dwa kyerɛ mu sɛ wohwɛ other currencies na kyerɛ sɛ Ghana yɛ
ɛnɛ dɛ wɔde aba ɛrefa Ghana yɛ sika ne amahodoɔ so deɛ no sɛ ɛna teɛ wɔkyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ ade a ɛnɛ dɛ Ghana cedi no $1 ɛyɛ 15 cedis 45 pesos na sɛ wo kwa akɔtɔ de a wo bɛyɛ no 15 cedis 47 pesos pound nso ejina 19 cedis 21 pesos drew 16 cedis 3 pesos upe bi atɔ a wo bɛyɛ no 16 cedis 4 pesos ITV business desk nhwɛmu kakra yɛyɛ ɛnɛ de firi boso ne da ɛtɔ so dumiɛnsa ɛwɔ afie mu wɔ anapa no wɔtwe empa mu ɛna Bank of Ghana ɛde sankuntabuo ɛde ɛbaeɛ a wɔkyerɛ sɛ ebetimi akɔsoro ansa ade asa po a $1 no ebetimi akɔduru 15 cedis 90 pesos a pounds no so betimi akɔ n'anim kakra ɛkɔgyina 19 cedis 70 pesos na we no ɛyɛ emiamia ahodo a wɔnom sisa sika enkuntabuo a Central Bank to dwa enu ewo mu se dollar no se 15 cedis 45 pesos there na nso me ahodo mu se sika no kwa obetimi enya 15 cedis 90 pesos wo san de to aso se euro no nso so no wo kwa me se sika no a obetimi enya 16 cedis 70 pesos.
ITV enyumre no nsia kasie na eguso a yede ebesum yede sum widie dro so eye agudie mu ensem sly by krado
Minya me no ye Islam in perspective dwumadie ewo ITV so ma me nka wani gisem bia ansampa aboabo ne nyina no e de aye book bia what in the mercy of God mu no ye wo 84 topics nanso mercy of God enwoma ba ko bia wo befa no ubenya ensemti ana topics miensa enewo mercy of God mu me ba ko bia eye 9 cedis why the mercy of God mu me Enchemu miensa first package no 10 different books 30 topics anywom watete so adeje 70 cedis mercy of God package tosu mienu nso 10 different books and also 30 topics ewom and also watete so adeje 70 cedis of a third package nso 8 different books anywom enti 24 topics and ewom and also watete so adeje 56 cedis Nanso engume emu ba ku biara a wo beto no 9 cedis. Wo benya the mercy of God ngume bi ato ewo ITV aso ya ewo kasoa yenya no road Anti-Mercy Junction ha. Anasa wo betumi aye mobile money dia fa mobile number 0558 607210. Sa wo pe dudu atu ana wo pe kira kwan a wo betumi afre 0558 607210. Odofo shadin so say obiara obeto nwuma 28 ni nyina no obete so de age no 170 cedis. The mercy of God kwanchira pamu kwanchira papa.
Ashafo ya sounds mamunyina akwaba embrace musonfo Sylvester akwa the sports doctor mede aukense musem etwaso edemam me sha sedem ni Ghana Football Association omaso GFA we na head of communication director Henry Asante Chim ode insebia betuja na insemo da betuja na nse omacho letter tenten ede akwa komaka force ebeya omomo expert na nkonfo metumi abede abetraining a police for omuwo anase omukọ guiding football parks na yesi aka enwo ho na wo de abetu dwa se si eya dia me no ka se si no ka for agepini na apia no waja atum no sa nkofo no betima be pie oman Ghana no aba be training omodia che nyame yadoma September ton na sa nkofo ye experti ometima be pie oman Ghana na nye Ghana be ti se DAAKYE nyina no CAF mpanyimfo sa ne experts omuntumi enko ho na chese omunko na omunko ye de omunko training police for any security personnel sa omo guidance posted by Abraham March ye de course na basaba so entumi ensi to say de na no ko say de etwemu an de etumi esi e wo nso atema agamenti communication director Edema GFA Henry Asante Chum ensema ono se free na so ye edeba ode abatu edwa enanyibeni. To us one year for any MTN FA Cup now to since the year 1958 to this year 2024 teams are mobile there AGG FA Cup no and that was my ocean and watching the drop oh my god Accra House of Folk wajiba ko kwa dumienu and the last time oje 2022 now Kumasi Asante Kotoko amonso age enaya ono so the last time oje 2017 Great Olympics munyina ho cornerstones munyina agigi bi onane FC munyina agigi Dream FC ene na asifo no swatman omunyina amagigi ebi ho ma ba opede waje ne dodo pa dia na ye House of Folk furu aba na ba Kumasi Asante